Hey Facebook. So it seems to be I always come live when I'm crying of some sort, but I feel like that's when I'm the most vulnerable, and that's when God is on display the most. So I wanted to share with you guys just a little story and why I am have a pit in my stomach and I'm ashamed of myself and why I think it's a good thing. It was just a normal day. I got to sleep in this morning, which was awesome, and I stayed up late last night, so that was really nice. And I went to the gym, and the gym is probably about 20 minutes away from me. So I usually Uber there and I walk back after my workout. So I was walking back, and this whole morning I have just been so frustrated and complaining about our life and our circumstances, because it seems like we just keep coming across obstacle after obstacle in our lifestyle, and that's really hard for me. And so I was complaining that God's not doing enough in my life, that He's not doing enough in our life and not providing enough for us, and that it's not good enough. And I was complaining about our circumstances and things I can't control. Ultimately, I was just complaining, and I was super frustrated with God and blaming Him, like, well, why isn't this enough? Why aren't we getting more income? Why isn't there more stability? Why is there so much drama all the time? And I was complaining again on my walk home from the gym, and I had the Bible app on on my phone, and I'm complaining, listening to scripture, and I turn a corner, and I almost stepped on a man sleeping inside of a box, and I just lost it. I lost it, like, in the middle of the street. I started crying, because here I am complaining that I don't have enough, that what I've been given is not enough. And there are people in the world who are literally sleeping on a really cold, windy day on the pavement in a box shelter. And it just stopped me in my tracks and hit me like a train. And just the song, "Who Am I?" came into my mind. Like, who am I that the Lord of all creation provides for me? And God instantly just put in my heart, like, Courtney, you're complaining that I don't give you enough. You're complaining that what I do give you is not enough. And you're complaining about all these things, but let me remind you that I gave you everything. I gave you my own life. My son died for you so that you could have life. If that's not enough, nothing will be enough. And so I just wanted to come on and share that with you guys, because I think it's really easy during your hard seasons to complain and to find, different reasons why what you have is not enough, or why your life is not good enough, or why can't I be like her, or why can't we be like them, why can't we have this and why can't we have that, this house isn't good enough, and this paycheck isn't good enough, and all of these things can just add up. And but sometimes it takes things like that to really stop us in our tracks and remind us of the truth that there's people in the world that are living in boxes, that don't have enough food. They're eating food out of a dumpster. My husband saw that the other day. And I don't know how else, like, how are we going to be happy with what we currently have and content with what we currently have if it's not enough? And we look around and, like, I would never eat something out of a dumpster. Like, would you? Like, I would never do that. But there's people who have to survive. So it just really showed me that that God is providing for me, that what I have is enough. And it's not up to me to decide that it's not enough. If I have roof over my head, which you guys can tell I'm in a bedroom, if I have food to eat, if I have those things, I do have enough. So anyways, it was just a lesson, like a real eye-opener for me. I think it's really easy to complain that we don't have enough or that it's never good enough. But there's always someone in the world that's in a much worse situation than us. And that's why I think that that I am ashamed of myself is a good thing. I'm ashamed of myself for my pride and my selfishness and my jealousy, that what I have is not enough. I'm ashamed of that, and that's a good thing, because it means that God is changing my heart, and it means that He's creating me to be sensitive and humble and realize how much He has provided for me and what a blessing all that provision is. So I hope it encourages you guys. I hope it's not a downer. I hope it's something that makes you look at your world differently, and it makes you ask yourself, like, I may be going through a hard season right now, but at the end of the day, there's people out there in a way worse, difficult situation than me. And, you know, God provides for us. If you have a roof over your head and if you have food on the table, God is providing for you, and it's enough. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think, yeah, so I don't really have much else to say other than that. I feel like that's kind of what I'm learning right now, and it's really hard pill to swallow, because it's easier to complain than to be happy and grateful for what I have. And, you know, me and my husband were just talking, and we were talking about how easy it is to say, God's hand of blessing is on a situation if it's successful, or they're making money, or like for him in basketball, if he's scoring crazy points and rebounding, has these incredible stats. It's easy to say God's hand of blessing is on that, but we never say God's hand of blessing is on something when it's not going right, or when there's, you know, struggle or obstacles and it's hard. We don't really say that, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that just because something looks successful on the outside, that means that God's hand of blessing is only on that. At the end of the day, God's hand of blessing is on His children. I'm a child of God, so whether I'm seeing success in my business or I'm not, whether it's an easy month and I am hitting all my goals, or it's a hard month and I'm not hitting one of my goals, no matter what, God's hand of blessing is on both situations. And we can't say that God's hand of blessing is conditional based on the success that we're seeing in our careers or in our lifestyles or in our family. Maybe you want kids and you can't have them right now. Whatever the case may be, you can't claim God's hand of blessing only on the good situations. So I just want to encourage us that no matter what you're going through out there, that God is with you, that His hand of blessing is on you, and that it could always be worse, which I know doesn't help. It's still painful and hard to go through those times, but it should give us contentment that regardless of what desert we're walking through right now, that God's going to see us through, and He's going to provide water when we need water, and He's going to part seas when we need seas to be parted. So anyways, I just wanted to share that stuff with you guys, my takeaways from this morning, and just reevaluating my mind, because clearly I wasn't in a good headspace. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love and the support. Thank you so much. Tag a friend if you think that they would be encouraged by this, or share it. I'm totally fine with that as well. But I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and I hope the next time that that you are walking around in your day-to-day, or you find yourself in a negative mental mindset or complaining, I pray that you would stop and count your blessings, that you would stop and see what God has actually done for you and the way that He has loved you and provided for you. Because at the end of the day, the needs that you have as a human being are actually really minimal. They're not that large. We don't need the really nice house, the really nice lifestyle, the really nice car, all those things. We just need enough, and God is providing that for us. So I'm thankful, and I'm changing my mindset about this. So anyways, I've taken enough of your guys' time today. I'm sorry that I'm always crying on live video, but I feel like hopefully you can appreciate what God is doing in my life, and hopefully it encourages you guys as well. So have a great Thursday, and I look forward to hearing what your takeaways were from what I learned today, and if you felt like it touched you or encouraged you or challenged you in any way, I would love to hear. So comment below, and at the end of the day, go enjoy what God has given you today, because everyone has access to his very life, his very gift of salvation, and that goes beyond a house, that goes beyond an income, that goes beyond riches. That is, he gave everything, his very life. There's nothing greater than that. That's enough provision, no matter what your circumstances are. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.